Hello, and welcome to another Into Silence at 12 FPS. My name's Tala, and I'm here today playing Amber and Bart's Pyreson. And with me today is the incredible, wonderful, one of the best breakfast foods.
Hey, uh, I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the professor as usual.
Yep, and today is, of course, a regular old Toontown day. It's roughly the beginning of winter, like maybe a couple of weeks into the first snowfalls.
Hmm.
And, people are getting ready for the holiday season. It's a joyful mood all around. And, Professor,
Mm.
you are getting a call.
Oh, on the ellipses?
I mean, if he doesn't have a phone, then
He
yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't have a phone. He just uses the ellipsis console. Um, yeah. All right. So he uh is kind of confused because he doesn't have a number. um, but um he just sort of like flips a switch to open the audio channel, and he goes, "Hello."
Oh, sweet, that actually worked. Uh, hey, Professor. If you're wondering how I'm calling you without you ever having told me your number, basically, I made this radio thing and I called every number consequently until I got to the one that was yours.
I didn't
All my
realize
finest work.
that was possible. Amber.
Yep, the one and only.
Well, hello.
Anyways, yeah, hi, hello, Professor. I hope you're having a good day. I'll just cut to the chase and say, so you remember a little while ago when you told Box that if we ever wanted to stay in the ellipsis that,
Mm-hmm.
we could?
Yes.
Uh, winter's kind of here, and I was wondering,
Mm-hmm.
is that offer still open?
Yes, dear, it is.
There's a pause where you can hear some muffled chattering on the other end before Amber turns and says, "All right, sweet. You think you could bring Ellie over now? Box is kind of already packed."
Sure. I think I've been around Toontown enough times. I think I know. Actually, I'm gonna roll survival. Roughly where the junkyard is. Um.
I can give you the coordinates if you need.
Yeah. Let's see. Survival. He did roll good, so that's 17. Will probably be enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You've been around Toontown enough.
Yeah. All right. Then yeah. He just he he just says like, "All right. Be over in a moment." And he pulls down a lever, and the ellipsis starts the dematerialization and rematerialization sequence. Um, and from Amber's point of view, the ellipsis sure does show up noisily in the junkyard. Probably not right where your base is, but like it's in the junkyard and she's loud, so like you can figure out where she is.
All right, sweet. We'll be there in just a moment. And with that, Amber has hung up.
Yeah,
And
the
then
professor's just gonna
immediately,
open the.
You open the door and you see Box outside, clearly ready to knock, carrying like two briefcases under their arms and another one just precariously stacked on top of their head.
Oh,
You go,
hello,
"Oh,
Box.
hi, Professor."
Would you like to come in?
Yeah. Uh, I've got stuff I need to put down.
Yes, let me take one of these for you. He's gonna probably take the one on top of on top of their head and just haul that in.
Thanks for letting us stay, Professor.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
you know how winters get. It's very cold, and we didn't finish insulating our base in time, so
Mm-hmm. Yes, certainly, certainly. No, it's not really very good weather for um uh fire-based tunes.
yeah. Amber says she's not sure how this new body will react to like lots of cold. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hard to say. Better to test in a, safer environment.
hmm yeah, that makes sense. I think. Anyways, um, is there like a specific room, or do we just?
Oh, well, I mean, you can if you want if you want the room you had last time, you can just he just sort of like snaps and points at the ceiling like just, let her know. And if you want something different, um try and concentrate on it and pick a door.
Wait, room we had last time. You mean the one with the cool bed?
Yes, that one.
You get a very overjoyed cheer as Fox goes scurrying for that room.
Aw, nice.
At that point, Amber now appears, dragging along her own very oversized trash bag of stuff. A very reinforced trash bag, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hey, Prof. Uh, don't mind me. I have some stuff I need to bring in that I cannot leave on its own during winter.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got plenty of room in here.
Speaking of rooms, you've got a workshop, right? Do you mind if I
Oh, go ahead. You want to set up shop? By all means.
Well, it's more of the thing I want to set up. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? It's probably a better idea if I just show you.
Mm-hmm. Tilts his head.
Uh, yeah, let me just. And she sort of tosses the trash bag off screen. There is a loud clatter. The cat yowls. And she dusts off her hand before going, "It's just over here."
Mm-hmm.
And she leads you over to uh, the Pyreson junkyard base,
Mm-hmm.
where she opens the door to her own workshop,
Mm-hmm.
leads you inside. You do have to duck a little because the door is not made for taller people.
Uh-huh.
And along one wall, you see what you can only presume is what Amber was talking about as she is walking right towards a basically 10 foot by 10 foot by like 5 foot monstrosity of garbage and scrap metal, which with a bit more looking does seem to be a probably something that's made up of different woodworking and metalworking tools.
Uh-huh.
It looks like there might be a part that's could be a furnace. There's a chimney coming from it, and you can definitely see a couple of saws.
Wow.
And of course, there's just a regular old rubber ducky on one end. Not sure what that. Can't quite tell what that connects to, but
It's for problem
well,
solving.
yep. Amber's inventions work in mysterious ways, and she sort of just presents it to you like, ta-da! This thing. I call it my everything tool, also known
Oh,
as Jessie. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna need help bringing her in
aha. Oh,
because like, even every individual piece weighs like 240 pounds on the lower end.
yes, that's. Huh. Let's see if it's. Hmm. What if. Let's see. Oh, you haven't got, enlarge or reduce, have you?
I do actually.
Oh. Um, it's as long as it's not, any sort of, like, points at the whole thing. Um, as long as it's not got any sort of, extra dimensional properties, it can probably be reduced. It'll still be quite large, but, a little easier to fit.
Hmm. Oh, probably have to. I'll only be able to reduce about three different parts. I've
Ah,
tried it before. They all do count as individual pieces.
oh, I see. I see. In that case, maybe so you don't have to take it all apart. Um, let's see. I can probably just ask the ellipsis to just change the door up a bit, make some room.
Well, that definitely works. All
All
right,
right.
let's see.
Um, let's see. I hmm. Should I? I hesitate to try to bring her any closer, just because essentially the more times I uh, move her a short amount of space, the more likely it is that something will go wrong.
Ah, well, what's the worst that could happen? This place is sturdy, she says, knocking on the wall as a panel falls off. That that doesn't count. I knew that was loose for a couple of months now.
I'm not so much worried about as much worried about the structural integrity of the fort, but more slipping into the wrong dimension or into the wrong time. But I mean, I've had some pretty decent luck recently. It should be fine.
Yeah, sure. I like a good gamble.
All right. I'll try to bring the ellipsis closer, and then we'll see what we can do to I guess push this thing through the door.
Yeah, you do that. I'll see how uh movement and ready I can get this thing.
All right. And he will go into the ellipsis, and did do a bit of fiddling at the controls, and just want to go over my spells real quick, see if there's anything that would help at all. I don't think he has anything helpful for this. Uh, Yeah, no, the only thing he's got that I can see that would help is like dimension door, just teleportation. Um, he can carry an object that doesn't exceed his carrying capacity. So,
It does exceed his carrying
no,
capacity. It exceeds it by a
the
lot.
whole thing, yes. I think maybe if he tried like a piece of it, maybe, but yeah, no, definitely not the whole thing. Um, yeah, no. So he's just going to um, uh, just sort of like, you know, uh, calculate some coordinates. You know, just sort of like uh, do some quick math and hit the big lever again, and the ellipsis disappears from where it was and reappears. Um, let's see. How was your luck today? Eh. Um, reappears closer to the fort, but sideways. It's like on its side, like it fell. Like it didn't fall, but like it just is completely perpendicular. And the professor opens the door, and you can see him standing inside, you know, attached to the floor. And he, like, opens the door and looks out, and it's all wrong. um, so he just sort of, like, grabs the edge of the long edge of the door frame and, like, lifts himself out of the console room and into the trash yard. Because he has essentially created like a door to a pit now. All right. Well, that's hmm. Well, it is wider than it is tall, so that's an improvement, I think.
Yeah, but Jessie is as wide as she is tall.
Oh,
Might need to make it a bit bigger.
yes, yes. He just sort of like swings inside to it's pretty awkward to the side of the door that has the floor attached to it, and reorients himself. Goes to the console, hits a few more things, and the ellipsis sort of disappears once and reappears. Um, let's see. Still sideways, but it looks like a garage door now, like the sort of rolling door garage sort of deal. Um, and the door like rolls to the right because it's sideways. Um, uh, and the professor is just sort of like hanging between like the floor edge and the edge attached to the junkyard. And he's sort of like eyeballing the frame. Do you think this is big enough?
At that point, looking out, you can see what Amber has been doing. She has been taking down a portion of the wall around the door to her workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she herself also realized. that door is not big enough to get Jesse out. And she looks over, uh, squints a little before giving a thumbs up. Yep, that looks about, yeah, big enough, I think.
Okay. Let's see. Thankfully, with the way it's oriented, it's not going to fall anywhere so long as we keep it flush with the left edge here. But how are we going to pull it in? Or push it in? Or both?
No worries. I've got that solved.
Oh?
Yeah, let me just show you. And and her head pops back out of frame, and there is a grinding of metal against dirt, as very, very slowly a very large group of raccoons and Amber
Oh
can be
my
seen.
gosh.
Some of the raccoons are using chains to try and pull the machine along. Amber and a couple of others are pushing from the back.
Is it working?
Let me see. Yeah, I'll just do a flat d20 for the lot. Oh, it's working quite well, actually, as they are slowly but steadily pushing it along with no small amount of effort, but they're definitely moving it, though they are leaving behind a very deep groove in the dirt.
All right. Let's see. Does it need to be up? I imagine it needs to be upright in the correct manner to function. Yes.
Most of the parts do, though this one corner needs to be tilted at a 72-degree angle to work properly, but most of the times I just have it at 90 and tilt it when I need to.
All right. In that case, since the whole thing is completely 90 degrees out of whack, let me. He just sort of like goes back into the ellipsis. He's going to get a pair of what are they called? The jacks, so that, like, you know, like a car jack, so that you could like lever one side up and like gently ratchet the other side down and basically tilt it on its side.
Ah, okay.
Because it's going in sideways. Or at least in the. It's upright now, but in the ellipsis, it'll be sideways. Because it's still oriented wrong.
All right, yeah, Amber sees what you're doing. She is going to speak to the raccoons in a sort of chittery, sort of growlix. You don't need a lot of insight to tell that she's definitely using a threatening tone. As she goes over to help you with the jack to, get Jesse oriented properly.
All right. Would you say they get it through the door?
Yeah, with the 17 and the help of the jack, eventually, it's through the door, and of course that's not where it ends, as
No.
The raccoons and Amber keep on pushing it further down the hole towards the workshop.
There is like there are a few noises of like. There's a few like grinding noises like from further down the hall, and let me see. Can you roll perception, maybe?
Sure thing. Perception. R1d20 minus 1.
Oh,
16.
yeah, 16's great. Yeah, you happen to glance up uh, at the hallway, and you catch like one of the walls move, so that it's a straight shot to the workshop.
She gives a thumbs up to the ceiling. Thanks, Ellie. And eventually, after a bunch of sweat and after Box himself comes out to see what the commotion is,
Mm-hmm.
Jesse is finally in place after a couple of loose pieces had to get reattached.
Mm-hmm.
But along one wall of the workshop, you now have this monstrosity. And once it is firmly in place, Amber takes a couple of steps back, admires her work before looking down the raccoons, and they chitter to each other in Grolix for a little bit before she pulls from her hammer space what appears to be a burlap sack with something struggling inside,
Oh.
which she promptly hands over to the raccoon before
My
they
God.
hiss at her and open the bag to reveal a fellow raccoon before they all promptly run off.
Um, the professor like folds his hands in front of his face. Amber,
In my defense, they attacked us first.
okay.
Well, technically they stole first, but you know.
Okay, but that doesn't really give you the excuse to initiate a hostage situation.
Well, I mean, technically I wasn't the one that caught him.
Was it
So was it
Box?
really me initiating? No, it wasn't Box.
Oh, okay. Who was it?
Hmm.
Did you set the trap and they caught themselves? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. I'm just wondering if I should tell you.
Well,
It was Sasha.
oh, really?
Yep. She came by a little while ago. Helped with the raccoon problem.
Oh, problem? I mean, were they bothering you? Oh, you said they stole something.
Yeah, they've been stealing stuff for like half a year. Well,
Oh,
at least until we dealt with them.
hmm.
Quotation marks.
Uh-huh. He looks amused, but
Yeah, at that point, Box chimes up. They also shot a nail gun at us.
well, that's okay. That's not good.
After they stole the nail gun too. There was a whole fight actually. They were building this mech made out of garbage, and it was really cool. And
Oh,
uh, Bucks is already rifling through their hammer space to present the nail gun in question. And from their hammer space, they pull out a nail gun that is roughly a little bigger than their actual body, which is more like a, let's see, what's the word? What's the
machine gun?
Yeah, pretty much. And the nails are roughly the size of actual steaks.
My gosh. Well, that's that's interesting. I don't know that I've seen a nail gun that with nails that large outside of spacecraft manufacturing. Maybe aircraft.
Well, yeah, they need to be big because they look cool, and also because we can't actually make the metal much smaller. We don't really find many usable nails, but we can shape a lot of the metal we get into like really big nails. We
Ah,
haven't found a mold for smaller nails yet, though.
I see. I see. Well, I might have something in the workshop. Um, but huh. You know, and he looks a little bit conflicted, but he says, "You know what this would be useful for?" Sorry, are you talking? I could.
I had my microphone muted. Fuck.
Oops. Okay.
Oh? What?
Vampires.
Oh, he's right. Amber, he's right. We could. This is like basically a machine gun against vampires. And regular people, too, actually. This would also kill regular
Well,
people.
I'm not suggesting you use it against regular people. He's like putting his hands out, like, now hold on.
I mean, if we gave it a stand.
Well, it would be very effective, that's for sure.
You can see Amber now looking at the nail gun. Gia's turning in her head. It was a very effective weapon in their hands, actually.
The
Hmm.
professor is not sure if if he is okay with what he has suggested, with what this is turning into.
Maybe that will be a project for another day.
Perhaps.
I could get my hands on some titanium. And you can hear her muttering under her breath, ideas for what to do with this, machine slash nail gun idea. And she just sort of hefts it up onto one of the workshop tables.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're welcome to most of the materials you'll find in here. If there's anything, hmm, uh, huh. Yeah, it'd probably be better if I actually marked this stuff. It's not terribly organized in here. Um, hmm, huh. How can you tell if it's not? Hmm. Most of this is fine. I guess.
Oh, don't worry about it, Professor. If it makes me bleed, I won't touch it. Well, I won't touch it again, but
Okay. I mean, okay. That's a good policy. I was, well, and I do have gloves in here. Plenty of protective equipment.
oh, gloves, schmov. I've lived this long without any sort of protective gear, and I don't plan on starting now.
I think maybe you should reconsider. I was actually more worried about objects that have more of a temporal effect. Um, Not that I have many in here. Most of them are part of the ellipsis.
Hmm. Fair enough. I'm not quite at the point where I can comfortably use space-time distorting materials.
Yes, yes. I guess if there's anything you're not completely sure about, you can just ask me, and I'll tell you if it'll blow us up or not.
All right, will do.
All right.
And at that point, you can already see Amber sort of rifling through one of the drawers on Jesse to pull out what appears to be a welding gun.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of more pieces of scrap metal and some old wiring, which she brings over to the nail gun in question. And goes, don't mind me, I got some ideas, and I want to act on them before they're gone.
Fair enough, fair enough. This is... He points at Jesse. Is this... What is it? Exactly? I mean, it's got a lot of different components that do a lot of different things, but is it just a huge multi-purpose sort of
Well, it's sort of in the name, isn't it? The everything tool. It's got basically everything you could ever need in a workshop that aren't, well, hand tools. It's basically all the bigger industry-sized stuff. It's got a furnace, there's a table saw, a bench grinder, a router, a sink that requires a 12-digit passcode because, I can't have that lying around out in the open. It's also got a grinder, a bandsaw, and it's even got a cup holder. And that's not even a quarter through everything it can do.
Oh, I see, I see. For a moment, he was, like, caught on the sink part. Like, why would a sink have a 12-digit passcode? But then he, like, remembered fire. Alright, well, yes, I guess that does about sum it up, doesn't it? Alright, well, I won't, interrupt your, flash of, inspiration then.
On that note, while she's busy, do you want to see what I did with our room? And Box is already sort of tugging on your jacket.
Certainly, dear. Let's go.
And with that, Amber sort of waves the two of you off as Box is dragging you along with all the enthusiasm of a child that's very, very proud of themselves. And they eventually make it to their room, where they promptly kick open the door to reveal what they've done.
Should I roll something? If you just want to describe it, I don't have to.
Yes, actually, roll me a dex save.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Ooh, what is your modifier? Okay, decent modifier, bad roll. That's an 8.
That is unfortunate. You find yourself, Box kicks open the door, and suddenly, like that one scene from Home Alone, you find a paint can suddenly swinging at your face, and it bonks you square in the forehead.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think, he just sort of, like, stumbles backward against the far wall, just, like, wide-eyed, like, what the heck was that? And he's, like, rubbing his face.
Oh no, I'm, sorry about that, I forgot that was, still up there,
Was
and,
that a trap?
Oh, no. I was just hanging up these paint cans to the ceiling because, it's easier to paint that way because I don't have to go down all the way back to the floor to grab new paint. But then I remembered that I don't actually know if I have permission to draw on the walls.
No, you do.
Oh, I do?
Well, certainly.
Ah, sweet! So I can use this stuff. And they grab one of their suitcases, opens it, and pouring out onto the floor is a menagerie of beat up old spray cans, a very old looking, very worn paintbrushes, a couple of containers of Play Doh, and some more paint tubes.
Hmm. Well, I'll just, make sure the, ellipsis knows to keep this place well ventilated then.
Oh, don't worry, the fumes can't kill me.
Well, no, but there are other people in here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The fumes might kill other people.
Yeah, no, but, I mean, I, just, actually, it's, as long as you're okay and you won't, have any, and you're sure you won't have any ill effects from this, it's actually easier to control the fumes if you keep the door closed. That's usually um, not, not what you want to do, but, since the ellipsis has individual control of all the rooms, this actually is the better option. It's a bit counterintuitive, but, that is the situation.
Box is nodding along gravely before they go. I don't know what counterintuitive means, but okay.
Means it sometimes is against, it seems against common sense.
Oh, okay. Well, no worries. Both Amber and me, we're pretty much immune to this stuff. I think.
Well, if it turns out you're not, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah, maybe I could find a different wall outside to paint if it turns out that this is very bad for our health, but I don't think it is. I've seen Amber eat one of these before, and they're holding up one of the spray cans.
In that case, you're probably fine. So yes,
Probably,
as long as
hopefully.
you keep the door shut, then feel free to paint all you like in here.
You can already see the sort of stars in Box's eyes as they look around the room, and the gears turning in their head as they imagine what they can do with their newfound artistic freedom. Hmm. Do you want to help me do the first drawing then? Since it's kind of your house.
Oh, well, sure, if you like. Any preferences as to what I should start with? And sort of taking a look over the different colors of spray paint.
Do whatever you want. That's the beauty of art.
All right.
I think I'm going to start with yellow. The best color.
Aha. I think he's going to pick out something orangey. And he's gonna start like higher up on the wall because Box Box can fly, but they, have to fly to get up there, so he might as well use the space that he can easily reach. And what are you gonna draw, Professor? I think... I think he would, what would you draw? What would you draw? I think he would, I think he would start painting, basically like a really long molecular equation, across the, sort of top of the wall where it touches the ceiling.
Along the other side, in the opposite corner, Box has engaged their little propellers and is spray painting a very cheerful sun in its own corner. For they pause, look over at what Professor is doing, and sort of fly over for a bit. Ooh, what's that? Is it writing?
Yes. It's, it's sort of a shorthand for, a certain, chemical reaction. Um, I can't think of a really long one off the top of my head, but, it's the, it's the, it's one of the, more complex, combustion, formulas for, carbon-based materials. Basically fire, and on this side you've got the fuel, and on the other side you've got, the byproducts, and all these letters mean different, components of it.
Oh, I see. It's a combustion. It's the formula for the combustion of gasoline. Okay, I get it.
Yes, let's go with that.
It was the only flammable material I could think of at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Why that one?
um I don't know, I was just thinking about fire, I guess.
Ah, fair. I drew a sun because I was thinking about, well, the sun because it's warm in here and the sun's warm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Speaking about in here,
Mm-hmm.
and by that point, Box has gone back to adding more little details to their little sun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are there any house rules? I guess I don't know. I've never actually lived somewhere, but that wasn't the junkyard or a warehouse or an
Mm-hmm.
alleyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I don't have many. I suppose, keep the front door locked. Uh, Try not to destroy anything that looks important, but, if you do, please just tell me. I'd rather just fix it than not know, and get in trouble later. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Let's see, let's see. Um, oh, I really ought to. Yes, I guess I'm going to have to put a better lock on the pool just to make sure, Amber doesn't ever go in there accidentally. Um, I I don't know, probably keep out of Sammy's room unless he invites you in. Um, he's got the House of Paint in there, at least some of the time, most of the time. Um, and, chances are he would invite you over, but, just be polite. Better to knock.
All right, Box is nodding along. It makes sense to them. What about rent then? I hear that's a thing you have to do in a house. I
Oh,
don't have much to pay. I don't have much to pay, but I do have some old drawings and chewed up bubble gum and the wrappers for those chewed up bubble gum and two paper clips and you can by that point they've floated down to their one of their suitcases and are just rifling through it. And I have a styrofoam cup and I
oh,
have
dear, you don't have to pay rent.
oh
Not here.
oh okay.
I don't need anything. The
Do we have to pay
ellipsis.
a mortgage instead?
No, 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 no. That's if you owned the place, but you don't own the place. I own the place.
But then doesn't that mean we pay rent?
Well, I, if I were a landlord, yes, but I'm not. I'm just sort of lending you this space, pro bono, for free.
Man, housing is confusing.
Yeah, that's why I usually don't bother.
Well, how long do we get to stay here then? Pro bono. That word for free.
Um, I guess, uh, I I guess as long as I'm sticking around Einquell, that seems reasonable. Einquell in this era, because at that point um, I'm not really interfering with anything. I'm just sort of a, um, in the large scale of things, I'm, uh, not much more than a glorified taxi service. Um, and this seems to be a good thing to him, and he seems to be sort of rationalizing this to himself.
Fox doesn't quite understand what you're talking about, but they do nod at the taxi service thing. Well, taxis are important.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, I mean, I guess as long as I'm here, you're, allowed to stay if, if I ever need to go, for a short time, and I thought it would be too dangerous or, I don't know, something, to, um, to bring you two along, I would probably try to see if, either Arata or Sammy could, put you up in their places.
Well, we probably just go back to the junkyard then. Amber doesn't really. I don't think Amber really plans on us staying for very long after winter.
Mm-hmm. Well, that, well, that is Emperor's choice, but, you're welcome to stay, uh, as long as this arrangement works out for all of us.
Fox sort of nods quietly, but they do seem to be. It does seem to be something on their mind as they ask one more time. Are you sure those are all the rules? Like no rules on um I guess uh when or what to eat or
Oh,
uh
um, no. Well, um, I mean, I don't really. You can. Uh, it is recommended that you eat when you're hungry. But I'm not going to be, um, policing your, um, actions. The pantry, uh, and the kitchen if you need it, though I don't know that you would need to prepare anything. Let's see. Well, there's the pantry, and there's some stuff in there that, yeah. So most of it probably not going to be interesting to you. Some of it would be, actually very interesting. I have some provisions for, uh, various, elementals or warforged, and the like. And then of course, uh, plenty of firewood for, the fire in the library. Um, but so I mean, you can just sort of access that, freely as you like. You take as much as you need, take as much as you want. Um, I I don't. He just like shrugs. I don't have any rules about that, really.
all right, Box is nodding and they all right. All right, that's good. Don't tell Amber I told you this, but she was kind of worried that like the firewood cabinet would be locked or something, or our room would get barricaded if
Oh, what?
um. Well, it's good to know that's not a thing.
Why would your room get barricaded?
Um. Well, because we couldn't find the old fire extinguisher, so
Sorry, the what?
um. Well, it's not something to worry about if.
What do you mean fire extinguisher? Why do you have a fire extinguisher?
Well, I didn't have it. Amber had it, but uh, it got lost a little while ago. I think the raccoon stole it as well somehow.
Well, maybe that's just as well. That's kind of dangerous to have around. Then again, I sort of understand, given if something does accidentally cast fire and you don't want it to be on fire, but bit of a dilemma there.
Yeah, she said it was you know, just in case. Just
Hmm.
in case.
Uh huh. Um. I'm never going to lock your door. Um. That's up to you whether you want it locked. Um. I won't lock any access to food or blah 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 necessities or basic amenities of any kind. There are going to be a few locked doors in this place. There are things that nobody but me should be able to access. So if the ellipsis, uh, I mean, frankly, if the ellipsis really doesn't want you in somewhere, there's a good chance that you won't be able to get in, lockpick or no. But everything else should be fine. I mean, the only things that I'm going to be locking you out of are like uh, massive, like, uh, pieces of equipment that deal with time, and if tampered with, could destroy large pieces of the timeline. Like, that just makes sense. No, that just makes sense that that's locked. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds dangerous. Makes sense.
Right. And the pool. I'm going to put a lock on the pool because, well, that wouldn't be dangerous to me or to Sammy or to Lore, but it would be dangerous to at least Amber, if not also you. Although if I recall, you're at least water resistant.
Yep, I can stand the rain for 30 minutes.
Well, that's very good. That's very impressive. But yes, just to be safe, lock on the pool.
All right. All right. That that's good. That's um thanks then, Professor, for letting us stay. I wasn't sure if the the offer was still a thing, because it was a while ago.
Sure, certainly it was, sure. But yes, it was. It is still open. Um, just so you know, when I meant if you break something, just tell me. I won't be mad about it. That includes setting things on fire. If you set something on fire, that's fine. I won't be mad. I won't punish you in any way or make you do something to pay for it. I just want to know where and when it happens, so that I can fix it and possibly prevent it from happening again. Put something, I don't know, put a sign up, put a gate around something, whatever the case is.
All right. I'll make sure to do that, and I'll make sure to tell Amber to do that as well.
Okay, dear.
And uh one more thing. Do you please don't tell Amber about most of the stuff I said, I guess. I don't think she'll be very happy to know that you know about the fire extinguisher, even if it's gone.
I won't tell her.
Thanks. Do you want to do the sunglasses for my son?
Certainly. And he's going to do a pretty good approximation of Seeker's sunglasses on the sun.
Fox looks at these sunglasses for a moment before looking back at their collection of spray cans. Before they grab one of the paintbrushes, dip it in some brown paint, and add some horns.
Oh my goodness.
There, Seeker's the sun now.
Excellent. If he visits, you'll have to show him your room and your lovely artwork.
Oh, yeah, that I can do that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have an art wall in the junkyard as well, but that one's more private.
Understandable. Understandable.
Do you think if I asked Ellie, I could also get a room just for art? Because I'm sharing this one with Amber, and
Oh, Absolutely. We have. I have a room that's full of art supplies. But that hasn't really got. It's kind of there's stuff on the walls already. Mostly cabinets and the like. We can just get you a blank room if that's what you want.
You have art supplies and a blank room?
Certainly.
Can I see it?
Sure. And he'll just sort of like, you know, cap the thing he was holding and, make his way out the door, down the hall. Probably not very far because, Sammy had actually managed to find this room, a while ago. So, the ellipsis probably, kept it pretty close. Um, so he goes and manages goes and finds the room with various art supplies in it, and it's let's see, how did I describe it? I think I've got I think I've got a thing for it. Art studio filled with art supplies and half-finished projects. There are drafting tables, pottery wheels, easels, strange glowing tablets, looms, and for some reason, a skeleton model with a fabric rose between its teeth. There are paints and drawing implements of every color, including a set that all look like the same shade of green, but which the labels say that they're each a different something color. You're not sure, but yeah.
Fox is immediately darting over to the spray paint, where they grab the most brilliant shade of yellow they can find, shake it vigorously, and then sort of spray a little bit under their hand to see what it looks like. Oh, you have such good colors. This is the best. This is one of the best forms of art, I'm telling you.
It's a pretty impressive one.
Yeah, you should see some of the graffiti me and Amber found in the city.
Oh,
one day I'm gonna draw stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And illegally too.
Good for you.
Amber says that as long as she's with me, that I can do as much illegal graffiti as I want, as long as I'm not caught, because then it's not illegal.
That sounds about right. Shall I show you an empty room?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just and they quickly rifle through all the different colors at their disposal before grabbing about a dozen just wrapped around in its arms. All right, good to go.
All right. Let's see. Probably not far. And he sort of knocks on the wall of the ellipsis. So that's not really like a statement of I'm sure it's around here somewhere. It's like a suggestion, like, hey, make it not very far from here because that's convenient. So I think probably like you turn one corner, and then he just sort of like stops and as if like by instinct just sort of like turns to the one door and opens it. I imagine what it looks like right now is basically just like probably a gymnasium-sized, just blank white room.
Oh, the stars in Box's eyes.
Is this a suitable canvas?
I am never gonna leave this room.
Well, I don't know. I think Amber might have to pull you out for for a little bit.
She's gonna have to fight me. And with that, Box is already darting into the room and is uh, back to flying around and has clearly quite moved on from the idea of conversation in the face of I have a giant fucking room all to myself and a dozen different colors.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Absolutely. Just chaos art.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll leave you to it then. He'll sort
Yeah,
of wave.
thanks, Professor.
Very good. And he'll go back towards back to the workshop, I think. Hello. It'll sort of knock on the door frame.
Eh? Oh, hey, Professor. And Amber Shadow opens the door for you.
Hello.
Oh, I've added auto aiming to the nail gun.
Oh my. Really?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Mostly because, I'm already pretty happy with the weapons I've got, but I think Box could probably use some of their own. And the nail gun itself is a bit too heavy for them to aim efficiently, but if it could aim itself.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe in the future I'll make a smaller model, but for now, this'll do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to demonstrate, she pulls out from her hammer space like just a random rock, which she tosses into the air, presses a button on the nail gun, which fires a stake that just obliterates the stone.
Uh oh man. The the professor is just sort of like impressed, but also like, what hell hath I wrought?
Anyways, did you need something, or were you just, checking in? How's Box doing?
Oh, just checking in. Box is doing good. We got into the, got everything put in the room, and then Box was wondering, oh, if is it right if they draw on the walls, and I said, well, of course. And then I showed them the sort of art supplies room and showed them a blank room that they can paint in. I mean, it's really quite drab in there. It needs a splash of color.
Ah, okay, okay.
So they're busying themselves with that.
Yep, they're probably not going to be leaving for the next 72 hours. I wouldn't
Perhaps.
worry about them. Anyways, I really gotta say, very nice workshop. And I don't know if I can't remember if I told you that before, but man, I've always wanted this many kinds of screwdrivers.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Well, you pick up things here and there, when you travel about for a long time.
Well, I'll say, almost makes me want to go on a road trip myself.
Yes.
Uh, by the way,
Hmm.
so you are fine with us staying for the winter, right? Just to be sure.
Absolutely.
All right, sweet.
Hmm.
Uh, thanks for that. By the way,
Oh,
uh,
you're welcome.
yeah, it's just you know how winters are sometimes. I've heard
Yes.
that this year is gonna be particularly bad because of I don't know something about the ozone.
Mm, perhaps. Yes, well,
Um,
it's won't snow in here unless you ask her to.
no.
No. Oh, and even then, there's no
I,
guarantee it would work.
yeah, I don't get how that would work. As far as I can tell, there is not any sort of system for any weather conditions in the ceiling. Not that I was in the ceilings.
Well, you might be surprised. Some of the atmospheric controls are uh, hidden a bit more deeply into this ship than most people get to access. But most of that's just you know, uh, air, um, temperature, gravity, humidity.
Fair enough.
I don't think I've ever. I actually don't think I've ever actually made it snow in the ellipsis, and I don't intend to. I don't intend to.
Hmm. Uh, and I guess, on that note, feel free to roll an insight. Yeah, an insight.
Uh huh.
I figured we're overdue one.
Mm-hmm. That is a bad roll. That is a 7.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, Amber seems.
Oh, that's not right. It's supposed to be a total of 7. I put the wrong thing. Wait. Yeah, no, that was supposed to be 4 plus 3. Sorry. I could roll something else if you want to give me a different thing. Because that's not working.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, no worries. So for a time, it seems it seems like Amber was quite content, quite calm in her new environment until, a bit suddenly, she asks, Ellie is fire repellent, right?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, granted, there's a fair amount of things in here that aren't. I mean, uh, a decent amount of stuff in the library would uh, catch flame if you tried to catch it on fire. Um, I mean, there's the fireplace, obviously. That's real. But the ellipsis. I mean, the walls in here. Sort of this funky, and he sort of like taps it. This sort of metallic slash ceramic type material, completely fireproof.
All right. All right.
The floors, the
That's
ceiling, the walls. Like unless you walk into a room that looks like it's made out of plywood, everything else should be fine.
All right, that's good to know.
And anyways, I wouldn't be too much bothered if you burned anything. Uh, I went over some house rules with Box. One of them just being, lock the front door. Other one just, if anything gets broken, or if something happens and you happen to see it, or if something does get burned, I won't get mad or anything. I just would prefer to know about it so that I can, help fix it. Then we can keep going as business as usual.
All right, now that definitely warrants another insight. Let me roll deception too.
Man, it's a pity I'm not. All right. Well, that's a little better. It's not great.
Yeah, a little better.
Oh.
Well, close enough. A 13 does beat an 11.
Wait,
You
you
see
you rolled a
Amber.
d10 though.
I rolled a d10. You are right.
Yeah, let's redo that.
Yeah, that's not quite.
Oh, okay.
Roll even worse.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, 13 versus 10. Amber nods, and you hear her say, "All right, yeah, will do. That's good to know." But you can hear, uh, both the doubt in her voice and the fact that she is definitely lying about telling you if she burned stuff.
Mm-hmm. He's just gonna sort of like lean against the workbench, and he's kind of like looking off, thoughtful. Um, uh, I really do mean it, because, well, you know, if we just go through this logistically, I really don't have any reason to, be upset if something gets burned, There's not a lot of things in here that can burn, and then if something can burn, and if it gets burned, there's either, a good chance that I could, salvage it, and if there isn't, there's a good chance I can replace it. And if I can't replace it, well, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff in here. I don't need all of it. I can afford to be, sort of like scratches his head, like, that it doesn't. I mean, you see how much stuff is in here, right?
There's a hesitant nod.
Right. So if I look, and he'll pick out a he'll go to a toolbox and pick out some sort of tool that appears to be like, it has like some metal bits, but appears to be mostly wood. Like whether it was like some sort of primitive tool or like some specialized thing is kind of unclear. But he pulls it out, and then from his pocket, takes a matchbox, strikes a match, and lights the end of the tool and just holds it as it burns. And he just like does a big shrug, like, this doesn't matter.
What did that dude? What did that screwdriver ever do to you?
Nothing, I'm just using it as an example. And I don't need it.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. No need to destroy any other perfectly good tools.
Alright. He's just gonna sort of like put it down on the metal work table to smolder itself out. He doesn't seem too bothered by the smoke either.
Do you even have smoke detectors in this place?
Well, yes, but not the normal kind. Um, the ellipsis has just sort of got various sensors in various places. But she's not going to put. Look, the amount of things that I set things on fire, she's not going to put on a ship-wide alarm just because of some little. Just because one room's on fire. Like, that would be impractical. But she
I guess that
does.
does make sense.
Right.
Basically a sentient fire alarm system.
Right, she knows it's happening, and she'll ping the console. So if there's somebody up there, they'll probably see a warning. Hey, something's going on. Other than that, I mean, she could notify me, and he sort of like taps his forehead. But other than that, I mean, not much point. Maybe something like local. You know, if there was somebody nearby who could get hurt, probably a good idea to let them know that something's happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Ellie is the ellipsis. I can't imagine much would get by her. And
Mm-hmm.
uh I guess one final insight check while we near the end of this FBS.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank goodness! Finally, a good roll. That's oh, nope, I typed it wrong. That is a 18.
Nice. All right. With an 18, it's it's when Amber kind of is basically saying to herself, because with an 18 you can tell that your comments about like Ellie, nothing getting past Ellie, is less directed at you and seems to be more uh, something she's telling herself. And you can tell that the idea does relax her a little. She's not quite as worried or as doubtful about your claim that, you know, she won't be in trouble or anything. And with that, and a bit more welding to get all the new pieces in place, she puts the welder down, basically hefts the nail gun over her shoulder and says, well, thanks for the chat, Professor. Thanks for letting us stay here for the winter. I'm gonna go see if I can drag Box away from their spray painting long enough to test this out.
All right. Good luck. Call me if you need anything.
All right, will do. Actually, does Ellie have a shooting range?
Um. I. Yes. and he seems sort of like reluctant to divulge this, almost like embarrassed. I yeah, she does. I if you ask her for it, she can lead you the way. I don't spend much time in there myself.
Perfect. Lovely. All right, Ellie, where's the shooting range? And you can hear her voice fade as she leaves the room and uh, starts heading to what you can definitely tell is going to be a very unfortunate amount of destruction.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, he's just sort of like,
Especially,
huh?
especially when you see from the toolbox you pulled the screwdriver out of. Let me find the stat block I used for him
Oh
again.
my god.
What's your passive perception?
I think it is a 15.
You can see a furry little gray hand slowly reach towards the scorched screwdriver.
Uh that's not gonna fly. I think he's gonna try and scruff this thing and haul it out of the ellipsis. What I roll for that? Dex?
I think that would count as a grapple.
Oh, does it now? Okay. I can use
So go ahead
athletics for
and
that,
roll.
right?
Yeah, roll athletics. I will roll acrobatics.
Alright, how's a 27?
Oh, they physically can't beat that. You have a fucking raccoon hissing and clawing at you, and probably Grolix, and suddenly from the toolbox pops like three other raccoons, which one of them also makes a grab with a screwdriver. Others are carrying a sort of mishmash of high quality tools as they book it.
Oh man. Alright, everybody out! It'll start he's got prestidigitation. He's probably just gonna like shoot sparks at them, like completely harmless, but shoo them out through the door, toss the other one out.
You get a very loud hiss and some attempts at scratches, but they're not very successful as the raccoons run off with their bounty.
He just sort of like just like shakes his head and slams his hand down on the button to close the ellipsis door. He's like, all right, we're out of here. Okay.
And with that, as the raccoons scurry out of sight, no doubt to return to their nefarious plans, our FPS comes to a close.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Uh-huh.
Any present and future listeners, hey Magic, I see you there. This has been Tala with the wonderful.
Oh, Oatmeal, hello?
This has been Hibernation Preparation. Thanks for watching, folks.
Bye.